Let's just dive right into this explainer, because today we're exploring a seriously fascinating psychological paradox. Why is it that walking away from unrequited love is actually a profound display of psychological strength? We're unpacking the psychology of why dignity is just infinitely more attractive than desperation. When we look at people who never beg to be loved, the ones who completely refuse to plead or chase endless reassurance, it reveals something absolutely captivating about how they view relationships and, more importantly, their own self-worth. We're going to break down exactly how protecting your self-esteem doesn't just save you a ton of heartache, it fundamentally makes you a much higher value partner in the long run. So have you ever chased love? Really think about that for a second. Have you ever felt that deeply agonizing urge to pursue someone who is clearly, unmistakably pulling away from you? Look, we've all been there, right? Double texting someone who left us on red, just hoping against hope that one more message will magically change their mind. Culturally, we are fed this massive myth that fighting for love means you literally have to beg for it. Think about all those romantic movie tropes where the hero stands outside in the pouring rain, pleading for a second chance, absolutely refusing to take no for an answer. We're taught that persistence equals passion. But the source material we're looking at today completely flips that script. It challenges that whole Hollywood narrative by showing us a different, much healthier psychological reality. Quietly walking away when love isn't returned, it isn't a weakness, and it for sure isn't giving up. It is a profound, undeniable strength. To really wrap our heads around this shift in perspective, we're going to walk through 5 psychological pillars. 1. Love must be mutual. 2. Protecting your self-worth. 3. Releasing control over feelings. 4. Investing your energy wisely. And 5. The ultimate power of walking away. All right, let's kick things off with pillar number 1. Love must be mutual, the foundation of a balanced relationship. There is such a massive psychological difference between forced affection and mutual effort. Think of a relationship kind of like a houseplant. Forced affection, that's like desperately overwatering a dead plant, hoping the sheer volume of water will magically bring it back to life. It's a dynamic where affection only exists because one person just keeps asking for it, demanding it, or trying to negotiate for it. And when you're constantly carrying the relationship on your back, the whole dynamic becomes totally unbalanced and honestly exhausting. Real love simply cannot be forced or coerced into existence. On the flip side, we've got mutual effort. This is the healthy, thriving plant that both people are actively tending to. In this space, both individuals are choosing the relationship every single day. To folks with strong psychological boundaries, love isn't a hostage negotiation, right? It's a mutual, shared choice. And when effort is mutual, the relationship just flows naturally, without that suffocating pressure of someone always having to prove their worth. Moving right along to pillar 2. Protecting your self-worth, choosing dignity over desperation. Self-respect is literally the essential foundation for every healthy relationship. Now, it's a tough pill to swallow, but psychologically strong individuals totally understand that rejection hurts. There's no denying the sting of someone not feeling the same way about you. But here is the critical difference. They also know that constantly begging for someone's attention does way more long-term devastating damage to their self-esteem than any single rejection ever could. When you chase someone who doesn't want you, you're subconsciously signaling to them, and to yourself really, that you have low value. You're basically saying, my worth is determined by your validation. People with high self-respect absolutely refuse to do this. They would literally rather lose a one-sided relationship than lose respect for themselves. They grasp this vital truth that completely changes the game. Your self-worth does not depend on someone else's decision to choose you. By keeping their dignity completely intact, they actually become far more attractive. Because honestly, nothing is more magnetic than someone who truly knows their own value. That brings us to pillar 3, releasing control over feelings, accepting psychological reality. Genuine love is freely given, never persuaded. Let that sink in for a second. Genuine love is freely given, never persuaded. Human psychology clearly shows that you absolutely cannot make someone feel the same way you do. It doesn't matter how much effort you put in, how grand your gestures are, or how perfectly you try to tailor yourself to what they want. We often kind of trick ourselves into this illusion of control. We think, well, if I just try a little harder, or if I'm just a bit more patient, if I say the exact right thing, they'll finally love me back. But people who deeply understand this pillar, they stop trying to manipulate or change another person's feelings entirely. Instead of fighting this relentlessly exhausting losing battle, they just accept reality. They let go of the illusion of control and move forward by strictly focusing on what they actually have power over, which is their own actions, their own growth, and their own peace of mind. Next up is pillar 4, investing your energy wisely, establishing healthy personal boundaries. So when you finally recognize your own value, there's this massive, highly visible shift in your behavior and exactly where you invest your energy. You immediately stop chasing unavailable people. You stop pouring out all this one-sided effort, and you definitely stop demanding attention. I mean, we all know what demanding attention looks like in the real world, right? It's obsessively checking your phone, waiting hours for a single crumb of a text back, and feeling your entire mood completely plummet when they cancel plans yet again. Psychologically speaking, establishing healthy boundaries means stepping back the exact moment you realize you're the only one investing. All of that precious emotional energy completely shifts. Instead of just throwing it into a void, it goes directly toward building balanced relationships and fostering mutual respect. You start operating on this non-negotiable belief that your attention is a gift. It should always be appreciated, and it should never, ever have to be demanded. And finally, we arrive at Pillar 5, the power of walking away. Why letting go is the healthier choice. Staying in a one-sided dynamic inevitably leads straight to severe relationship frustration and just absolute emotional exhaustion. It totally drains you. But walking away is fundamentally an act of self-preservation. It's a profound recognition of your own immense value. When you let go, this incredible wave of relief just washes right over you, mostly because you finally stop trying to force a puzzle piece into the wrong spot. Walking away honors your personal boundaries and completely validates your self-worth to the highest degree. And it's so important to understand that walking away doesn't mean you've suddenly stopped caring about the person or that you have this cold heart. Not at all. It simply means you finally stopped ignoring your own needs. Honestly, letting go is often the absolute healthiest, most loving choice you can possibly make for your own psychological well-being. If there is one profound thing you take away from this explainer today, let it be this. Peace is worth more than forced affection. Just think about the quiet, stable comfort of internal peace, especially when you compare it to the constant, stomach-churning anxiety of chasing someone who just doesn't want to be caught. Because individuals with high self-respect truly know their worth. And because they value healthy relationships, they understand deep down that the right relationship will never, ever require them to beg. They actively prioritize their own internal calm over the chaotic, unfulfilling, and frankly, pretty degrading dynamic of trying to force someone to care. So, I'll leave you with this. Do your relationship standards reflect your true worth? Take a really hard, honest look at your own boundaries moving forward. Remember the psychology we unpacked today. Not begging for love isn't just about protecting your feelings in the moment. It's this massive sign of psychological strength that elevates how you are perceived by literally everyone around you. Ultimately, true dignity is always, and I mean always, more attractive than desperation.